Hello and welcome to my very first Q&A video. I figured it was about time I started doing stuff like that. All these other YouTubers seem to have answer of the question or viewers comments, or as Tom Bukovac calls it, VCB, the viewers comments bin, or whatever he calls it. So what do you want to know? I've got a few. Let's go through it, right? James Catalano from a couple of days ago. Paul, always amazing and inspiring. Thank you very much. Is the Cornell still your favourite amp? Is that the Romany 12 with reverb? Considering picking that up. Well, James, what was your question again? Is the Cornell my favourite amp? I would say yes. Where are you? Oh yeah. I would say yes. I've got 4 valve amps and my lovely Boss Katana, and my moods change weekly, not daily, weekly, and there's times where I just favour one amp and cannot think about anything else, and then once I've recorded that song and I've washed it clean of me, then I've got an open mind again, and then I'll go back to another one of my amps for just a change, and I fall in love with that one and nothing else will do, or a particular guitar amp combo I'll fall in love with for that for a week. But all said and done, and when the dust all settles, yes, I think the Cornell is my favourite amp. The way it's just so gorgeously crispy on top, and yet this woof, this warm bass, and the sheer presence and how usable it is with that attenuation. By the way, yes, it is the one with reverb. So yes, I would say the Cornell is still my favourite amp. Next one. Tyler Davis asks, what Romany settings do you use when playing at house volume like this? Well, all the stuff I record, apart from really sort of heavy ones, do I do any heavy ones? But most of my stuff is this kind of volume, and I'll show you a picture of the amp now. So you'll see there, what is my volume at? Oh my goodness, I'm just on 1. Sometimes I go up to 2. My EQs are roughly around 12 o'clock, bit of give and take with that, but generally they're around the 12 o'clock area, and reverb is very powerful in the Cornell, so I just have it on like 1 or 2. But yeah, it's number 1 on the amp. I've got it always on the setting D, and I hardly ever vary from that, because I like crunch. If I wanted headroom, where is the attenuation? If I wanted headroom, and here's me with my D setting, I could play that all day. I could die happy with that setting. But now I'm going to go up to A, C, B, A. I've lost my mojo. It's all gone. Purely because I'd have to pump the volume up louder to get back to my sonic territory. And that's what it's about. What sonic territory do you like to play in? If you're Hank Marvin, you're going to want setting A, loud as hell, and lots of headroom. But I'm not Hank Marvin. Back to my preferred A setting. So now I've lost all my headroom, and that's fine by me. Next one, Mr. Name Person. Dude, you play great, thank you very much. So 2 years later, have you kept the quarter pounders? This is in my Telecaster. And can you get back the original sound with EQ? Well, let me just mute as I change guitars. The answer to that is yes. Well, yes and no. I kept the quarter pounder. I think he was looking at the original video where I went from stock and completely quarter pound, neck and bridge. So that is going nowhere. The bridge, just love it, absolutely love it. That was taken out and replaced by this, or the neck lipstick quarter pound. It was nice, still an improvement for me over the stock, but Stormy Monday is in there now, as you probably know. But this one, absolutely love it. So I can still 100% recommend, if you're in the same sonic territory as me, i.e. bluesy breakup, this is a cracker. And absolutely, even looking at the size of the pole pieces, it's clear this pickup means business. And yet, to answer your question, does it still sound like stock or a Telecaster with some EQ? Yes. In fact, before I play a bit now, I did a video recently on my childhood heroes, so if you check out my Roy Buchanan one, episode 3, it's quite a recent video, you won't have to scroll down very long, and I think that is the tone I got there epitomises an early 50s Telecaster tone. But I had to play near the bridge, so I was doing things like playing in that zone rather than up here. Big difference with that tone. Listen to the tone change. Crackly pot. So to me that was very Telecaster, and I've also done another video, more than one, but I think it was quarter pound, does it still sound like a Telecaster? And I was playing more kind of, take that silly delay off, make sure the tone pot's rolled high, and you get this kind of sound. So, to answer your question, yes. Either there's your EQ switch, depending on where you pick. This is EQ, or you could physically do EQ on the amps. So yes, I hope that answers your question. Next one. Right, Phil Bates. It's a effed up world when someone with your talent cannot make a living from playing such wonderful music. And I speak as a guitarist who has made a living of sorts out of music for 50 years. Your playing and musicality is a delight. Well, first of all, genuine. That's why I do this YouTube channel, because imagine waking up in the morning and you reach across to your iPhone and once your eyes become accustomed to the light, it's quite sad that I do this. You go glory hunting, so you look at your comments and then you get these comments like that floor you and think, that's lovely that somebody thinks like that, or that something I've played connects with somebody or whatever. It's just wonderful. Or in the summertime when I play in the streets for the tourists, I'll sit against a tree in the meadows in Edinburgh and I'll play, and 99 people will walk past and I'll not give a shit. But one person's like watching, and it's great. It's absolutely brilliant. Or somebody's got his girlfriend, he's walking up the street with his girlfriend, Angela, come back. And you can see Angela's getting held back and he's like, just watch for a bit. These are the little moments you think, you're a guitar player, eh? And it's just great. And then they'll come across and say something. So thank you very much for saying that. But since you brought it up, why I'm not making money as a guitar player, I have a little list. Now maybe this is like a loser's list and that I don't feel I've succeeded. But it's a way of making me feel better of not being pro. So here's why it's quite nice not to be a pro musician, and in fact just to have a day job, right? I've listed it. I don't have to buy Bentleys and... No, I'm joking. When you get rich and famous, I don't know why they do it, but they got these... They start playing guitars that are like endorsement deals. That kind of ticks me off. Some great guitar player who made his name playing a Telecaster or a Les Paul, and now suddenly he's playing some Yamaha Revstar, or nothing against Yamaha Revstars, but you could think, is that really your guitar of choice? But of course behind the scenes there's this whole big deal and endorsement. So I don't have to get involved in any of that. Therefore, which leads into point 2, since I think endorsements are a bit naff, I can be completely honest and just play what I want to play. Like I paid full price for my Romany. I paid full price for every single amp I've got. I paid full price for every guitar I've got. I think I've been sent one pedal from the lovely Jeff Martin. That's my white JTM Overdrive pedal, and that was given to me by Jeff. Thank you so much. But other than that, I don't get any endorsements or anything like that, so I can be completely honest. I don't have to be on the socials all the time. I like social media, but let's face it, scrolling through Instagram is painful. And when I do scroll through Instagram, all the people who are trying to make money from their music are on it constantly. Every time I go on, you've got Mary Spender constantly on. It said, I'll just use her as an example. Nothing against Mary Spender, but everybody in that situation was just trying hard, really trying hard. Everybody in her position is trying so hard to make money from music because it's their life and their passion, and that's great. But it means they have to be on it all the time. What can I do a video about today? And I don't have to get involved in all of that. I also don't have to ask you for anything. You notice not once have I ever said, don't forget to like and subscribe. You know, stuff all that. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you just want to watch and not subscribe, that's fine too. I am trying to build my channel, but I don't have to be asking for subscribers all the time. I don't think I've ever asked that on any one of my videos. I think my son closed one of my videos once, and for a laugh he said, don't forget to like and subscribe. But that, I don't have to ask for that. I don't have any pressure on me to release weekly videos or anything like that. And I also don't have to have a complicated pedal board with switchers and umpteen different pedals for touring. So that big list is maybe just my way of saying, if you gave me £1 million, a Bentley and an endorsement deal, maybe I'd be happy as Larry. But anyway, the point is, there are advantages in just having a job. Right, last one. Music IC81 Smith. It says, boy, if that jam was a song at 5:14, I'd buy it right now. I'd love to buy tabs though. So what he means, the reason I'm going to answer this question, even though it means nothing to you at this point, is because it's something I play that people talk about, comment on a lot. Is that a song? Is that something I can buy or download? And the truth is, no. If I released an album of self-penned material tomorrow, I would put this on there. I don't think I'd be sued for copyright, but it was something I was, because the chord sequence has been done a million times. What I'm talking about is this one. You've heard me play it before. That one. And I elaborate. Etc, etc. I heard the late, great Mike Caswell play this when he was working for Guitar Interactive, I think. He was interviewing Joe Bonamassa, and Mike and Joe, a good few years ago now, were having a bit of a jam along that chord sequence. So the chord sequence is nothing special. It's a minor blues, but I've always been into Joe Bonamassa. He's one of my favourite players. So Joe Bonamassa, being Joe Bonamassa, doesn't know when to stop. It's verbal diarrhea all over the neck, and you feel like saying, just stop for a minute and let the song breathe. However, he's one of my favourite players of all time, but he's typical Bonamassa, all over the chord sequence all the time, and then they swap and Mike's all over the chord sequence all the time, and nobody lets it breathe. But I like music to breathe. So all I've done is I've taken the chord sequence and tried to make it a solo piece for me, just to play outside for the tourists or to play to you guys. And so I like to let it breathe a little bit and funk it a little bit and just make it my own. So in so doing, it's become mine. I don't see it as stealing from Joe Bonamassa or Mike Caswell, because when you listen, I'll put a link in the description. When you listen to what they do, you'll see, oh yeah, I can see where Paul got the feel or the idea of the chord sequence, but that chord sequence is old as the hills, and all I've really done is make it mine. So that's all that is. By the way, the nuances in it, since we're talking about it, the beauty of it is, there's your A minor, it's in A minor, so that's an A minor 7, but if you drag that up 2 frets, what a lovely sound. There's another inversion of A minor. What a lovely sound. I love that. D minor. Best chord in the entire world. E minor 7, E minor 7, augmented. Oh, anyway, before I ruin it, you get the idea. So, what do you want to talk about now? Right, let's call it quits. Let's stop there, and I'll do another one at some point. Maybe one a month, maybe, I don't know. But I'll save questions from now on and incorporate it into that. Right, I'll leave you to get back on with your day. Have a lovely one, and I'll see you on the next vid. Bye for now.